Hi, I'm Shruti Suresh Agarwal. I'm a scientist at CSIR IGIV. I started my lab 2 years ago and we are interested in the problem of cancer metastasis. So, we are really excited to understand how cholesterol as a metabolite can be scavenged and transported within cancer cells and how this regulates the process of metastasis. Besides this, we have a new project delving into the field of CAR T therapy where we want to use our expertise in genome-wide CRISPR screening to identify new mechanisms of resistance to CD19 CAR T therapy. I'm really excited about this new body of work elucidating non-canonical function of different cell types. So, for example, earlier this year, I was at a conference where someone was talking about astrocytes as antigen-presenting cells. And just last week, there was this other paper showing gut M cells can also function as antigen-presenting cells. So, these non-canonical roles where other cell types take on immune cell function is something very interesting to me because it raises the question as to what is their role in physiology. And that's also a question that my lab is exploring in a different context. So that's something I'm really excited about. It's been 2 years at IGLB, and we've been following up on this interesting observation that cancer cells can perform moonlighting function as immune cells, wherein they hijack the macrophage property of phagocytosis, and they can basically perform phagocytosis of dead cells. So to put it simply, what we see is that cancer cells, specifically melanoma cells, can eat their dying neighbors, and this in turn alters their capacity to spread to other parts of the body. This has a lot of therapeutic implications because any type of cancer therapy induces a lot of dead cells. And so, how these dead cells are cleared could impact the efficacy of the therapy. If your cancer cell is coming to clear that up, it might actually give the cancer cell some advantage. So, this is something that we are keen to explore in the coming years. And this is what I mean. This is an example of an in vitro assay where this red cancer cell has taken up this green dead cell and it lights up once it reaches the lysosome of the cancer cell. This is a live imaging showing that cancer cells can indeed eat dead cells. And this is a confocal image of a slice from a mouse tumor. So this is from a mouse experiment, again showing that this pink cancer cell has a green dead cell inside it and both cells have their own nuclei. So this suggests that this novel property of fitness could be playing a role in the process of metastasis, and that's what we're really excited to focus on in the coming years. Yeah, I think my earliest interest to pursue cancer research came as an undergraduate student. So, like most undergraduates, I took up engineering, biotechnology with not much knowledge about what is biology, and honestly, no interest in biology. I was more interested in chemistry. But I was very curious about the course, and yeah, I was not too keen on it initially. But when I turned 18, I woke up one morning with a huge lump on my neck, and which was suspected of lymphoma. So, right next to the IIT Madras campus is the Adyar Cancer Institute, which is a government cancer hospital. So, since we didn't know many cancer hospitals, that's the first place we went to, where majority of the patients come from very low economic class. And I got a chance to interact with a lot of cancer patients who are going through so much difficulty in their life, not only from the disease burden, but also the other burdens in their life. And my own journey, where I had a cancer scare and went through multiple biopsies and surgeries. Thankfully, it was a scare in the sense after a couple of years of observation, I was declared cancer free and it was not cancer. So I do thank God for that blessing. However, just those few years interacting with the patients who were around me at the hospital and also the doctors there who were extremely kind to me, kind to my teenage self who did not know anything about the disease, did not know anything about tackling such a difficult disease. Their kindness and their patience in actually explaining the biology of the disease meant a lot to me. Yeah, so after that life-changing experience, I was very curious about cancer. I'm very passionate about doing cancer research, although I didn't have much expertise. And I joined the lab of Dr. Karunagaran in IIT Madras Biotech Department, who was studying cancer biology, where I got paired up with a really patient and bright master student who mentored me and taught me all the basics. And he never got mad at me for messing things up. I think that was a game changer because, that gave me the confidence that I can do research. And I got a chance to do an internship through the Corona Scholars Program, where again I explored cancer research in the US. And that gave me confidence that I can pursue a PhD in the US because it gave me an experience of the working culture in the US. So then I went to UT Southwestern Medical Center for a PhD in cancer biology, where I joined a really amazing lab, a wonderful mentor. So she's one of my biggest inspirations because she's a great scientist and also a lovely human. And, to this day, I'm very close to her. And she again took a chance on me with some really interesting ideas. We did a CRISPR screen for PDL1 immune checkpoint in lung cancer. And we discovered a very important and new signaling pathway involved in regulating PDL1 translation. And I believe that some of this work, along with others' work, has led to a clinical trial in lung cancer. So that's a very gratifying experience as a PhD student. And after my PhD, I went on to do my postdoc at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in the lab of Dr. Richard White, who again is like one of my major inspirations and one of my favorite people in this planet because he's an example of a brilliant scientist, but an incredibly kind human, like the sweetest person, but the most amazing and interesting person also one could meet. So I basically joined his lab because I loved him and I just wanted to be around him and immerse myself in the way he thinks and the way he does science. And I think I really benefited from that. And I got a good paper out of his postdoc with him as well. And I was lucky enough to come back to IGIB as a scientist, where again, I'm really lucky to say that I have a lot of mentors, again, who are great scientists, but also wonderful humans and who are looking out for me and who give me advice during my low moments and high moments. And yeah, I'm overall really excited about my journey at IGIB, which has just begun, and hope we can do great science with my amazing team. So, yeah. Yeah, our current lab at IGIB has around 10 people, including me. It's it's like 3, 4 grad students and a couple of project associates, a lab manager, and me. So it's a fairly young team of very excited and passionate trainees. And they are also lovely people. And I actually love having them in my lab and talking to them and, you know, getting to know them and spending time with them, both in science and outside science. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how they grow and how they develop, because even since our lab started, I can already see immense growth in them and change in them. And the ones that are receptive to mentoring and who have improved themselves with time, it's very gratifying to see them change for the better. And it's all for them. Like it does benefit me, but it is to see the growth in them and to see them becoming a refined and creative thinker is probably the biggest blessing one could have as a PI. So we are in that phase where that has begun. So I'm now excited for our projects to take off with the students who are in that phase of their career, where they are really poised for discovering something new. And I'm glad that we are doing this together. And I hope, we find some cool things about cancer biology.